Hello, my name is Dr. James R. Golding, and you're watching A Natural Healthcare Alternative, the show dedicated to your health, longevity, and well-being. Today's show is near and dear to me, and I titled this The Alkaline Way, or the Alkaline Diet. Please watch this show if you're interested in losing weight, recovering from some form of debilitating disease or degenerative disorder, or looking to maintain your health and well-being. Do not change the channel at this time. Before I get into the alkaline diet, I want to discuss why this is a very timely discussion for us to investigate or look into. Weight loss is an extremely important part of maintaining your health, and in our overabundant society, we have just gone way too far in our needs to lose weight and reduce weight. What I'm finding is that basically all diets work, and the reason why all diets work is because you need to investigate and you're changing what you're doing. What you're doing currently is not working for you. You need to make fundamental changes in your well-being, so when you start something different, sometimes it gets the results that you're looking for. Very popular right now is the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet, many of these other changes in your normal protocol, and they may be working for you, and I'm happy for that. But there's some disturbing aspects that I need for you to understand so that you can integrate a more balanced sense of well-being into your dietary program. First of all, let's explore weight loss for a moment. Most Americans take in way too many simple sugars, refined carbohydrates, and that's really the cause of our weight problems in this country. So losing the carbs is a very important aspect in maintaining your weight and your nutritional well-being. The other aspect is that we take in up to 40% of our calories is in fats. So we really need to decrease our fat intake to 10 to 20%, so we have to more than cut it in half to get into the range of fat consumption that is optimal for your well-being. Popular dietary programs now are replacing these two aspects which we have too much of and just way increasing your protein intake to do a greater extent than is necessary. It's fundamental to increase the protein intake, but we need to bring more balance in the nutritional well-being, and we're going to start by attempting to understand that. Let's look at lifestyle for a moment. The part of the problem with the weight is that people take in their caloric intake, meaning their intake of food, later on in the day. When I speak to people in the morning, half of them don't have breakfast. Or they pump themselves up. You have 2 extra large big gulps of coffee and a donut or something like that, or a bagel. That's a horrible way to start the day. Or they have nothing. They just have coffee. That's no good. The best time to start your nutritional well-being is earlier on in the day. And you're either going to start with having a grain diet, such as a grain meal, such as oatmeal, which I've been propagating for years. Or you're going to start by having a high-protein breakfast. Now, that high-protein breakfast, I like to tell people to have a shake. And the way that I recommend that is to have whey protein, which is a powder. You can put that in a shake with soy milk. And you can have that as your breakfast in the morning. Taking in your protein or high fiber in the morning is very important, because what happens is that protein, number one, is stimulating. So you want to be stimulated first thing in the morning. And proteins are digested very slowly. They're digested over a long period of time. So that allows for you to maintain your energy, and it also allows for you to not be hungry and burn that as fuel. So what happens, the average American doesn't eat the breakfast, and then by lunch, you're absolutely famished. So what happens is that when you're famished, you have a tendency of eating non-healthy foods because you're so hungry that your mind gets in the way of you determining what's the right thing for you to eat. I often tell people if I eat at 12:30, which is the time that I should normally eat my lunch, I'm always making healthy decisions for my lunch. If I wait till 1:15, I'm ready to eat wallpaper and go for fast food or anything, and I don't care about eating healthy. So it's very important to understand your own habits and the way in which when you eat, what you eat. But eating a good breakfast early in the morning, you're never going to gain weight from doing that because you're going to burn that energy out during the course of the day. Laying in bed, you're going to burn 1,200 calories a day even if you don't do anything. The average American takes in 4,300 calories plus per day. So if we cut down on that caloric intake, and when we do it, we're already on a better path. So it's better to load up with our energy requirements earlier on the day. The old aspect of eating like a king for breakfast, a prince for lunch, and a pauper for dinner. Regretfully, we are the opposite way around. So what happens, a person doesn't eat breakfast and they think they're doing good because, oh, I'm not hungry in the morning. Wrong, absolutely wrong. You're not hungry in the morning because you took in 50% of your caloric intake from 5 o'clock till the time that you went to bed. No go. That is absolutely no good. What happens is that we need to eat less as the day goes on because your body needs to be somewhat hungry to be burning fat as fuel. You need to be somewhat hungry for about a 2-hour period of time before your body starts to utilize fat as the fuel for energy consumption. And you're always trying to get at that when you're trying to lose the weight. But even if you ate half the calories but ate it later on in the day, your body's going to convert that to fat, and then you don't get into burning the fat as fuel because you are then getting hungry, and then you're eating stuff to replace what you're doing at the time. So it's an endless cycle of up and down in regards to your energy. So what we're trying to do is to create a nice curve of continuous energy throughout the course of the day. So the higher protein should be taken in earlier on in the day. Also, you'll have a higher protein requirement. Obviously, if you're doing some form of aerobic exercise or you're doing some form of muscle building, then your protein requirement is going to be elevated. So what people are doing is that they're eating and then they're snacking at night and then they're going right up into bed and snacking, you know, an hour, half an hour before they go to bed. You couldn't be more dastardly doing yourself a disservice than continuing this eating habit, because what happens is that all of that, of what you take in, gets stored in a storage form of energy, which is fat, and then what happens is that eating later on in the day disturbs your sleeping habit. What they find now is that if you don't sleep good, not sleeping good is just as bad as if you're not eating well or not exercising. So if you're not getting a good quality sleep, you are then, what they find out is that your sugar level and your balance of sugar in your body is disturbed when you're sleeping. And that disturbance causes the blood sugar to elevate and then even more to get converted to fat. So you should not be eating 2 hours before you go to bed. This will allow for you to go into a nice equilibrium and the balance of activity and then inactivity cycles as the day goes on. So what we're looking at is to eat, the goal is to decrease the refined carbohydrates in the diet, moderate the protein intake, and when we take the protein intake, and eliminate and decrease the fats in your diet. So we're going to go from 40 to 10 to 20%. You can't eat any fried food whatsoever. It is absolutely wrong. You can't eat fried food. You have to eliminate that. That's all garbage oils, garbage fats. Now, to progress on into this understanding of the alkaline way, your body is like a swimming pool, and we need to maintain the pH of your body on a tissue level and a cellular level so that it tends towards optimal well-being for rebuilding the tissue and optimal cellular function for metabolism. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to the medical supply store and you're going to pick up some hydrogen paper. Hydrogen paper, it's called litmus paper. Litmus paper measures the pH of your body. What you're going to do every morning for the next 2 weeks is at your first urine in the morning, you're going to take and pee into a cup a little bit. You're going to stick the hydrogen paper in there, and you're going to record the pH of your urine over the course of a 2-week period of time. Now, the optimal urine, or where that pH of that urine should be, is in between 6.5 and 7.5. Regretfully, for the vast majority of Americans, we have shifted to an acid-based bloodstream and an acid-based cellular level and pH within the body. We are now going to start to shift that pH to the alkaline state, which is where we're moving on into. Because of the sugars turn your body acidic. Stress causes acids in the body from the elevated increased cortisol in your body. Too much protein creates too much acid in the body. Now you say, what's this thing with the acid? Acid promotes degenerative disorders in the body, degenerative diseases, cardiovascular diseases, hardening of the arteries, arthritic deposits. These all acids cause these things to fall out of the bloodstream and then coagulate and create all of this dysfunction, metabolically and systemically, causing us to degenerate at a quicker rate than we should. So you get the pH of your urine, and it should be in between 6.5 and 7.5. On a cellular level, all of the cells in your body, inside of the cell and the workings of the cell, if the pH is somewhere in between 7.3 and 7.6, it allows for the metabolism of the cell and all of the functions that it does to be in its optimal state, whether it be digestion, energy conversion, on a gross level, your overall state of well-being, your ability to repair tissue and heal from degenerative diseases and disorders, an increased immune response for fighting off immune-based problems. So getting the pH of your body and getting the pH inside of your cells to the recommended level is an important strategy to understand. The protein diets are good because you're eating more protein, you're balancing out that blood sugar curve, you're decreasing the carbs as a result, but you're still acidifying your bloodstream. Also, once we get into protein concentrations that are way too high, you are putting an excess load on the immune system and on your kidneys and excretory system. So, although you're going to be elevating the protein greater than it would be in a typical American diet, you're not going to load up on protein and the types of protein, meaning bacon, meats, these forms of proteins. Even if it's chicken, you can't go too kooky with that and have way too much of that in your diet because you're going to acidify your bloodstream way too much. So we're going to bring this all into balance. So the simplest way, we're going to check your pH. Once we've determined that that your pH is where it is, we're going to start to alkalize your bloodstream. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by following some simple rules. Those rules are, number one, we're going to eliminate all forms of refined carbohydrates, all forms of refined sugars in the neighborhood of anything that's processed, cookies, candies, breads. These forms of carbohydrates are absolutely no good. You're going to you're going to go low with the pastas. And so that we're going to eliminate the carbs, just get rid of those carbohydrates and replace those, quote, bad carbohydrates or bad sugars with natural sugars and complex carbohydrates. So we're going to focus on fresh vegetables. Fresh steamed vegetables, lightly steamed vegetables are going to be the core focus of the nutrition that you're taking in. Vegetables and fruits are live food. That live food has enzymes in there that are going to provide you with minerals. They're going to provide you with the vitamins that you need to take in. These are energetic live foods. So the core focus of what you're thinking isn't that you're going to be a vegetarian necessarily, but you are going to vegetabilize your life. Organic vegetables would be wonderful. Even if not, you're going to add a wide variety of vegetables to your diet. You're going to have a serving practically every meal of the day. Now, leafy green vegetables are good. Anything that's green is good. If you are suffering from a debilitating disease or disorder, the number one tool that you need to purchase is that you're going to purchase a vegetable juicer. Because a vegetable juicer is going to allow for you to concentrate the nutrition and the healing power that vegetables and that the natural kingdom has for you into a more condensed form, concentrating the enzymes, concentrating the vitamins and nutrients. And by drinking this, you're going to energize the body and allow for its natural optimal state of healing. Personally, I think everyone should own a juicer and should be doing some vegetable juicing. Also, by doing vegetable juicing, you're going to alkalize your bloodstream. You're going to gradually start to shift it from this acid state to this alkaline state that we're working towards. So the other thing is that as far as the oils are concerned, the oils that we're looking to take into your diet, or the fats, we're looking into taking in cold-pressed oils, flaxseed oil. We're going to eliminate anything that's fried in your diet. And you're going to take in oils that are going to promote the essential balance of fats in your body. You do need fats and you do need oils. And these help in brain function. They help in the metabolism and the regulation of your hormones. But you're going to eliminate all of the bad oils, and you're going to replace them either supplementally or cooking with the good oils. Now, as we go and we're increasing the vegetables in your diet to alkalizing your bloodstream, and you're going to expand. What they find is that when you contract or take in a smaller variety of foods, and regretfully Americans don't take in the vast array of foods that are going to provide you with all of the nutrients that you should take in, you're inevitably going to miss out on some of the key components that your body needs on a very, very small level. So think wide, think vast variety of fruits and vegetables. When it comes to vegetable juices or fruit juices, you don't necessarily need to take it in the concentrations that you're taking it in. You can water these fruit juices down, and gradually, the less sweet you take in, the more you energize your taste buds to taste more. We talked before about salt and cutting down on the salt in the diet. Now, we've also addressed the aspect of osteoporosis and dealing with your calcium balance in the body. When your body becomes more acidic, meaning the classic American diet, it binds as a way to balance this chemistry out, to get this pH into the range that it should be. What your body does is it binds it to the things that are alkaline. The things that are alkaline are the minerals such as calcium, they are potassium and magnesium. These characteristically are things that Americans are deficient in taking into their diet, and are ultimately necessary in binding in what your body needs to do to balance this pH response out. So it's what you're needing the most, and may even be supplementing to get. But if you don't make these additional dietary changes, Those are just helping to counteract the pH effect that's going on in your body. This balance that's necessary for your well-being. So you see, you're starting to see now the interrelationship between things natural and bringing this harmonious state of well-being. You're going to eliminate sodas or anything that has concentrated forms of sugar in it. They have to go to the wayside. It's no good. As far as the water intake, pure, clean sources of water. You need to take in roughly 5 to 6 8-ounce glasses of water per day. Now, to most people, that's a revelation right there, because what happens is that even if you take bad nutrition and you water the bad nutrition down, it's going to make your system be able to detoxify, clean itself out better, excrete better, and deal with restoring the body's normal function and healing to a greater degree. Because we take in so much caffeinated beverages, and it seems like there's no end to it. We're a stimulated and overstimulated society, and just when I thought that people were cutting down on coffee intake, it seems like we can't get enough coffee. With all the coffee stores, I never thought like all Starbucks and all these coffee stores would be as popular as they are. You can't get enough coffee. Coffee is about the most acidic product that you could ever possibly take in. So that brings you and messes you up and brings you back into the acidic state. So what you have to do to help to counteract just the balance of the pH within your bloodstream, for each 5 to 8 ounce coffee that you take in, you must counteract that by taking in 1 8-ounce glass of pure water. You have to do that to maintain that source of well-being in your system. So we're always thinking that fluids are fluids. It's not. It depends on the concentrated source. Water is pure. Water is good, and you've got to go that way. So we're gradually going to increase our excretion, and part of the way in which you're going to actively, when one is rehabilitating, meaning you have a disease or disorder, you have to use 80% alkaline foods in your diet, which we're going to be getting into. You're going to then take 20% non-alkalizing or acid-producing foods. For a maintenance or restorative phase, you're going to be taking in 60% of alkaline foods and 40% of acid-producing foods to bring the optimal pH into line. You're going to start to take some buffered vitamin C, and you're going to gradually increase that form of buffered vitamin C or balanced vitamin C to detoxify your body and aid in excretion. And you can get it in a powdered form, and you're going to mix that. You're going to have a lemon every single day. I want you to have 1 lemon per day. And in Costco now, they sell the big old bags of lemons very, very cheap. So you're going to squeeze the lemon into the water, and you're going to have 1 lemon per day. Now, as opposed to what you may be thinking, a lemon's very acidic, but it does not acidify the bloodstream. The chemical reactions in your body, not as all as it seems, is that will actually purify and alkalize your bloodstream. We're going to gradually increase this buffered vitamin C intake over a period of time as we measure your urine, and we're going to bring that alkaline state. We're going to start to bring your acidic state down. We're going to be putting up a few charts in a moment, and those charts are going to help to give you a basic understanding. And as we go into our next show, we're going to have a medical practitioner that specializes in this form of dietary, healing, to give us the exacting details that you need for your to balance this whole circumstance out. So we're going to alkalize the bloodstream, and the next thing is you're going to be conscious now of food combining. It's not that you just eat healthy stuff. It's that we need to make sure that what you eat together is harmonious for your digestive system. Eating proteins and starches is the ultimate no-no. You can't eat protein and a starch together. You might as well just tape that steak and pasta right onto your love handles, because that is not going to work well for you. A vegetable and a starch works very, very well. These things eaten individually are much better. If you're looking to lose weight, having sandwiches is not a very good idea when it comes to losing weight. So that would be an example of a starch and a protein. Of course, we're going to be eliminating all of the processed meats from your diet anyway, because they're about the most acid-producing type of stuff. Pasta and tomatoes you have to go low on, because regretfully that's one of the few vegetables that's very acid-producing in the system, so you can't go and have too many tomatoes, because that is an acid-producing vegetable. So it's what we eat together as far as the combination of foods. I want you to expand your variety of foods and vegetables and fruits that you take in. You're going to water down the fruit and vegetable juices that you do take in. You're going to eliminate carbonated beverages. You're going to have high quality protein in your diet to a greater degree, but not go kooky with it by taking in too much protein because of the excess overload on your kidneys and your excretory system. You're going to eliminate and lower the fats and eliminate everything that's fried or bad about the way in which you take it in. And we're going to provide for you a chart that's going to take all of the acid foods and all of the alkalizing foods and have that all pulled together so that we can make that balanced within your bloodstream. When your bloodstream is in that balance, you're going to find that you can heal, that you can maintain being better, and get better. And this diet will promote all of your sense of whether it's degenerative diseases or disorders or overall sense of well-being. I guarantee that this will be good for you, and also helping to maintain your blood sugar level and into a nice even keel. You're going to go into ketosis, burning of the fat as fuel, and you're going to have just it's going to be good. On our next show, we're also going to break down all of the details involved with this, and we're going to make it so that we understand food allergy and the role of food allergy testing by the Elijah acting test, which checks for delayed immune responses within the body to see whether you're not just allergic to foods, like in a simple RAS test, but whether the delayed response of the foods and substances that you take in create negative health consequence over a 1 to 4 day period of time. Sometimes the things that you take in, you're not going to get an immediate response that's negative. And those negative responses create the decreased immune response, they create auto dysfunction, degenerative disorders, and disharmony. For Natural Healthcare Alternative, I'm Dr. James R. Golding. Thank you for watching.